So today we have some more really somber words from the book of Ecclesiastes. It's the final day we're in Ecclesiastes, and it's been good to spend some time with the teacher and to take our time thinking, considering the importance of wisdom. It's something that is underrated today, I think. And one of the reasons it's underrated is given to us by the book itself, where it talks about how the quiet words of the wise are to be heeded more than the shouts of a ruler of fools. And it goes on a little bit more about that sort of thing. And the notion really seems to be that wisdom is often calm and collected and quiet, whereas foolishness is noisy and loud and shouts from the rooftops and draws attention to itself. And I think we can apply that to our culture today, and just to bear in mind the fact that a lot of what we hear is just empty words and it's noise, and to really truly discern the way forward and the way to live and the way of life, sometimes that involves listening to a quieter, stiller voice, and sometimes it involves an element of calmness. Some of the other things that we have here are really a collection of sayings called Proverbs, and there's a whole book of Proverbs in the Bible, but we read them at the end of every day. But what a proverb is not a promise. So we can often think of a proverb as a guarantee or a promise. Oh, the Bible says this, therefore this is a promise of God. Actually, what proverbs are more predictions. They are people who have looked at the world over time and they've seen the way it operates, and they're just predicting what will happen. And so they may be common sense things like, if you're very lazy, you will have no food to eat, can be a proverb. Or, I've observed that when the foolish speak, nobody listens. Or, when you often tell a lie, sooner or later no one will believe you. So they kind of be they're genuinely kind of generally common sense things. So something like this, which I was surprised to read in the Bible, I don't know about you. Verse 15, a feast is made for laughter, wine makes life merry, and money is the answer for everything. Is it? Really? I'm not sure about that. But I think it's just an observation that in the world around, the teacher sees money tends to be the answer for everything. It isn't a promise that money is the answer to all of your problems. It's a prediction, an observation, rather than a guarantee. There's some other stuff here about remember your Creator in the days of your youth, because soon you're going to be old and stooping and your entire life is going to be meaningless. Again, I think let's draw from that positive things about the fact that if we are young, it doesn't last, and everyone gets old, and eventually life will grind us down physically, as it does everybody. Again, these are the observations of someone who's at the end of their life, the elderly teacher. But the main thing to get is not the meaningless, everything is meaningless, although it is just worth dwelling on what it must have been like to have seen life play out in front of you. The main thing to get, and this is where I think Ecclesiastes wants us to finish, that's why it's the last few verses, and this is really the thrust of everything I think that this teacher has learned. It sums up all of his wisdom. Now all has been heard, and here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. If we think the teacher has observed everything over his long life, think much more on the fact that God has observed everything over eternity, and he is the judge of all, and ultimately we stand right or wrong before him. In Jesus, we stand right, but still we want to take the wisdom of the teacher, which is to fear God and to keep his commandments in everything.